Okay, in this lesson, Unit 3, Project 10, we're going to be creating a personal budget. Your first full-time job, and you're putting together this budget, assuming that you're saving for retirement because you want to take advantage of how money compounds over time, and we'll look at that later on in this class. And also, of course, making sure that you save money to buy things so you end up using credit cards to buy stuff because that's outrageously expensive. You use a lot of money, and again, use a credit card, and we'll again go through that in this class. Okay, so the first thing it says to do here is we're on step number 4, is to key in the data from the spreadsheet. So, big surprise, I'm going to come back over here. No, that's not it. To here, this is our assignment. Let me close this one. Don't need that. And I'm going to go to the, remember, we need to start inside of the table. Don't start out here. So you see that I'm basically over the letter M. I'm going to press the left mouse button down and scroll all the way down to the end of the word close, release, copy, Control C. Now I'm going to come back up to my spreadsheet right here, Control V, and I'm going to paste that in there. Okay, all that went in nicely. Let's see if there's anything else we need to be keying in. I may not have given you everything. I don't always remember what I've keyed in, what I've given you. So I'm scrolling down on my other computer if you're wondering what's going on here to see. Okay, let's just take a quick look. Monthly budget, a blank line, income. Okay, so we need to type in total income. Let's go to the next one. So now I'm down here, renter's insurance, and total fixed expenses. Okay, these are the expenses that don't change every month. They're always going to be the same, and so we call them fixed. The amount is fixed. Total variable expenses. These are variable expenses. They change from month to month. And let's see, coming down a little bit further, coming to right here, and I'm going to type in total expenses. And coming down one more, surplus and deficit. Deficit meaning a negative, the amount you don't have. So now, for putting in these numbers, I'm just going to tell you that it's here in the textbook. And so it's in step number 10. I'll flash that up there really quick so you can see what those numbers are. Okay, so they're right here in this section right here. Okay, so I'm going to be copying those in. In your case, you need to open the textbook and have a look. Open it in a tab on your Chromebook is the easiest way. So start putting stuff in. So, and again, you see that we're over here, and if I type over that 2,400, enter, you notice I'm not putting in the dollar signs or the commas or any of that extra stuff. Okay, and the reason being that we're going to use the tools to format that for us. But one thing I do want to do, because I know that looks a little bit weird, is I am going to adjust the width of this column. I went right between the two columns, where between the B and the C, and you see where it turned into that little cursor there, and I double-clicked there, is all I did. We're not doing A because A would pop us even further out. In fact, really, it should come in like that. So that's about where A should be. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video for a moment. I'm going to type in those numbers. I do want to remind you, as you're putting these in, to remember, oops, that's interesting, 250. Oh, it's on the wrong tool. I was on the wrong page. As you're putting these in, put them in. If you have the number pad on your right available, good, and use the enter key to move down. It's a lot faster and easier than constantly stopping and reaching for your mouse or your trackpad, any of those others, cell phone. And so again, I'm going to stop this for a few moments as I continue putting in numbers. Pay attention, right now we're leaving total fixed expenses blank, so don't put anything there. Okay, a couple things here. First off, I probably wouldn't have put bus pass down here in variable. That's probably a pretty fixed expense. If you're using the bus to get to work, then you probably have the bus pass. So next thing I'm going to do here, somehow these don't look like the same font. Something looks like it's going on weird there. So I'm just going to go ahead and click right here and select the entire spreadsheet. Yeah, there's more than one font in this document. I'm going to go ahead and select that default Arial. Set that to 11-point font because that's usually the norm. And I will make sure that I'm using a black color for those. Good. Now it looks a little bit better, more consistent. So let's, at this point, go ahead and continue following the directions. So, oops, I went too far. If you're wondering what happened over here, and you should be able to see those for a few months. Okay. Key in the data as shown, merge cells A1 through D1, then center align and bold the text. Okay, so I can come up here, A1 through D1. I'm going to come to this tool right here, and I'm going to center align. I want to make sure I go through that again. Hang on. To select A1 through D1, we've already done this, but I want to make sure I actually go through the process of retelling you. I'm going to press the left mouse button down in the center of cell A1. Notice that the tip of the arrow, the tip of the cursor of the pointer is in the center of the cell. Drag all the way over to here. Now I'm going to release the mouse button. Okay, merge tool, bold. They want bold, yep, and center. And they also want to change the background color to light gray. So I'm just going to come over here and find light gray number 1. There we go. And we change that. Good. Okay, next, I'm just sort of following along here. Merge cells A3 through C3 and change the color to light gray. Okay, A3 through C3. And again, they want us to merge those cells. So I can come over to here, making sure, and center align. And making, do they want it bold? Yep. No, actually they didn't. And fill the color to light gray. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just fill it to light gray. Okay. Okay, merge cells A8 to C8. Okay, and I will tell you that when I did that A3 to C3, I'm looking back at it again. I don't see anywhere that they said to center it. So I'm going to click on that again, and I will again left align that like it was, because I don't actually see where they said to center it. Okay, I'm going to go to expenses right here. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to merge those cells. I'm going to change those cells to light gray. Okay, and that was step number 7. Step number 8, format column A to bold. So I'm going to click directly on the A, and I'm going to go ahead and click on bold. So column A, everything in column A is now bold. Okay, let's see here. Column 9, format columns C and D as currency. Okay, to select more than one column, there are a couple things you can do. One of them you can do is to press the left mouse button down directly in the middle of that column and drag over to the other one. Sometimes that's sort of cumbersome and you end up moving columns around by accident. The other way is you can just click on the first column, hold the shift key down, click on the second column. Is another way of doing this to make sure that you can select various or more than one column. And it says here to format these as currency. So now I've put in the comma and the dollar sign and all that other stuff. Okay. Okay. Step 10 tells us to put these numbers in. We've already put them in. Okay. So let's continue scrolling down. In cell D24. So let's come down here and find cell D24. Total expenses, D24. Okay. Really? That's what they did? That's what they did. Okay. Okay. That's what they did. We're going to go ahead. Why do I feel like something's missing? There it is. Okay. Because just to tell you, when I scrolled the book, it jumped a page. Okay, that makes more sense. We are in cell instead in D6. Something definitely felt wrong. So I'm coming over here to click in cell D6, and in cell D6, they want us to add these two up. Okay, and that's going to be really simple. I've shown you this before. Equals SUM, open parenthesis. Now, again, the way I'm going to do this is I'm simply going to come right here, this cell, the center of C4, if it has a 2400, I'm going to press and hold the left mouse button down. I'm going to pull down to C5, okay? And I'm going to hit enter. There we go, that easy. Okay, in cell D15, total fixed expenses, we're going to sum up our fixed expenses. So we're going to go equals, again, sum. Now you notice that this time, based on what we did before, it thinks it knows what we want to do. We want to sum C9 to C14. Is that actually what we want to do? We look at the book and we say yes. So we press the tab key. Done. There's no reason to do more work than you have to on this. Okay, in cell D22, you see where I'm at. Again, equals, and it's guessing again that we want to add those up. Tab key, okay? And now the thing is that it doesn't always work, this of the autofill, okay? So we're going to have to sometimes type in our formulas or get it up here just to make sure that we always know how to put those in, because this tool does not always work. Okay, now we're at step number 14. Now we're where we were a moment ago. In cell D24, click right here, total expenses, okay? And here in cell D24 equals, and we're going to type in the two cells, D15 plus D22. Notice, something to notice here. When I type that in, the text turns one color, the cell turns another. And it, by the way, does the same thing further up here if you're wondering too. See how that turned to a tan one? And that's done to make it quick and easy to find what is in your cells. It makes it very easy to find mistakes. Okay, now in cell D26. So we're going to click right there in D26, and we're going to type in equals, and we're going to subtract our expenses from our income. So we're going to come right here, and we're going to type in D6, delta 6, that was our income, minus, okay, our D23. And that is not right. It actually says D23. And yet it tells us to do this in D24. So we need to move this. So I'm going to purposely hit enter so you can see what goes wrong, okay? That can't be the right answer, can it? So you see right here. Now what I'm going to do here, again, it's just another way of saving myself some effort. I'm going to go to this box right here, and I'm going to actually, come on, click here. I want to show you how we do this. I'm going to grab this box at the edge. You know what? This only works in Excel. Yeah, okay, not a big deal. So I'm just going to come up here, and I'm going to fix that by typing in D20, and I can see the row there, 24. Oh, duh. Right here, D24. Okay, again, just to let you know, if I accidentally typed something in this one other than this, and so there was a reference error because I typed D24 in here, I told it to add to itself and display itself, and that just can't work. And that's what went wrong when I typed in D24 right here, is I got a reference error, cell reference error. It's referencing a cell that doesn't make any sense because you don't have to reference itself to go look at itself and add a number to itself and then display that number. Can't happen. So came down here and I changed that to D6 minus D24. Come up here, we see that that's in D6. And so we have a surplus of $236. Okay, what is next? Okay, merge cells A28 to D28. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to select cells A28 to D28. I'm going to merge the cells. I'm going to turn on text wrapping. Format, wrap, wrap. Great. Now, what they're telling you to do in step number 17 is to explain how you'll use that extra money. That's all. And again, I want a couple of sentences so we can see that you used the text wrapping feature. And that was it for this exercise, Unit 3, Project 10.